Steve Bannon is in a lot of trouble, we'll say. And it looks like he could end up getting sentenced, or at least prosecutors are going to try to pursue a 6-month sentence for contempt of Congress. So to give you the background on this, the January 6th committee wanted to talk to him because he clearly has information on both the election overturning effort as well as the January 6th actions specifically. So before we look at the article talking about this recent legal development in his world, we'll look at a little bit of kind of what got him into the interest of the January 6th committee that then asked him to testify. He refused and got charged with contempt of Congress. So first, before the election, in this audio clip I'm going to show you, he was clearly laying out exactly what Trump would eventually go on to do, which just shows there was this awareness around people who knew Trump or are familiar with him, Trump allies. Of course, Steve Bannon was an advisor to him for a while there. They knew exactly what he was going to do. It had nothing to do with looking at the election and saying, this looks like there could be some fraud, and that's why I'm going to say this. It was, I think I might lose, and I can't handle that. And so I'm going to do all these things, as Steve Bannon breaks down here.
And what Trump's going to do is just declare victory, right? He's going to declare victory. But that doesn't mean he's the winner. He's just going to say he's the winner. The Democrats, more of our people vote early that count. Theirs voted mail. And so they're going to have a natural disadvantage, and Trump's going to take advantage of it. That's our strategy. He's going to declare himself a winner. So when you wake up Wednesday morning, it's going to be a firestorm. We're going to have Antifa crazy, the media crazy, the courts are crazy, and Trump's going to be sitting there mocking, tweeting shit out, you lose. I'm the winner. I'm the king. And he'll be all over. He'll be going, where's Hunter? Is Hunter on a crack pipe? I mean, no, he'll be, because then it doesn't matter. Remember, here's the thing. After then, Trump never has to go to a voter again. He's going to fire Ray, the FBI director, and fire the He's going to say, fuck you. How about that? Because he's never going to, he's done his last election. Oh, he's going to be off the chain. He's going to be crazy. Also, if Trump is losing by 10 or 11 o'clock at night, it's going to be even crazier.
There it is. Ally of Trump laying out before it happened exactly what would end up happening, and revealing this kind of premeditated nature to it. And we saw this too in the most recent January 6th hearing, where they go through and break down all of these testimonies from people revealing that Trump, before the election, as early as the July before, was telling people that he was going to claim victory regardless of the results. So how you could still hold this belief that he's just this victim of a horrible election fraud situation is bizarre. The second moment that really caught the interest of the January 6th committee was him coming on his podcast, Steve Bannon, and saying January 6th, this is on January 5th, he's saying the next day is going to be wild, all hell is going to break loose. Take a look.
All hell is going to break loose tomorrow. It's all converging, and now we're on, as they say, the point of attack, right? The point of attack.
The point of attack.
Tomorrow. I'll tell you this. It's not going to happen like you think it's going to happen, okay? It's going to be...
He's such a creepy guy.
Quite extraordinarily different. And all I can say is strap in. You have made this happen, and tomorrow it's game day. So strap in. Let's get ready.
So there it is. And the January 6th committee said, wow, you even publicly really like to talk about how much you were involved in this, or at least had knowledge of all of this. So come share it with us. And he said no, got charged with contempt of Congress. And now the news that is breaking from CNN. Federal prosecutors want Steve Bannon, a former top advisor to former President Donald Trump, to be sentenced to 6 months in prison for contempt of Congress, according to a recommendation filed Monday. In addition to serving time, the government is seeking $200,000 in fines. For sustained bad faith contempt of Congress, the defendant should be sentenced to 6 months imprisonment, the top end of the sentencing guidelines range, and fined $200,000 based on his insistence on paying the maximum fine rather than cooperate with the probation office's routine pre-sentencing financial investigation, prosecutors wrote in their court filing Monday. So they will be seeking that top end figure as far as sentencing guidelines go, which is definitely interesting. And Steve Bannon is one of the people who should be getting held accountable and looked into for his actions, because clearly he had some involvement in all of this. And why else would he completely avoid going and giving the truth to the January 6th committee? It's very odd to me, even in a situation where you're allowed to go and plead the fifth, where he would completely not go, just in my mind to make a political show of getting arrested. Because we've found with a lot of these very radical right-wing individuals, their favorite thing in the world is telling an audience of people that they are the victim. That's what Donald Trump's whole thing was. It's not that I lost the election and maybe I'm just not as popular in the country as I thought I was. It's I'm the biggest victim in American history and the biggest fraud happened in all of the world. And that's the belief that a lot of his followers like to hold, that Trump's the biggest victim ever, not a whiny crybaby. And same thing here with Steve Bannon, where he created this whole unnecessary public show of him getting arrested and now prosecuted because he likes that narrative surrounding him. And these are very, very dangerous individuals spreading very dangerous ideologies, and we'll see what comes out of it.